my modeling journey, expose the industry, London Fashion Week, cringe! Or they will literally plainly tell a model they're fat. Starving myself is not gonna happen. It felt really lonely. I'm gonna get there. We're gonna start from the beginning. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So it's like 40 degrees today. Don't ask me why I'm filming this. Got my cold water. Today I want to talk about my modeling journey because I've never talked about that before on my channel. If I'm looking down, I'm just looking at my laptop because I have a set of folders and photos here from okay, my modeling timeline is 10 years. So I started modeling in 2010 and it's almost 2020, so we're gonna start from the beginning. I have notes here. I've investigated the timeline. I've searched for photos on my computer. Okay, so I'm gonna be looking at photos on my computer, but I'll probably insert I'll insert photos like on the screen. I'm going to, I don't know, possibly expose the industry. I don't know if it's exposing, but I'm gonna, you know, tell you some stories, what kind of goes on in the industry, my experiences, my goals from the beginning and how they kind of change and all of that. So I'm gonna show you a photo of me from 2008. Now, there were much worse photos than this, let me tell you. Okay, I did not look like your typical model when I first started. I actually joined my first agency in 2009 when I was 15. I guess back then I wasn't so... Since I was little, I've always been into fitness, athletics. I was brought up like that from my dad. So he brought me and my brother up doing a lot of athletics, being really fit, having a good knowledge of like nutrition. We used to always eat healthy. But there was a stage when I was like 15, 16, I went on the pill and then I think I put on a bit of weight. But also around that time, I kind of had like a break from, I guess, working out as much, and you know, don't really remember. It was freaking 11 years ago. And back then I had a bit of like an emo stage. So I had, you know, black hair, like the whole fringe thing going on, you know, something like that. And I was like, you know, I wasn't like a model skinny. I had a bit of like, I still had my baby fat, but an agency took me on. I'm from Adelaide, by the way, so I joined an agency in Adelaide. This was, oh, cringe. Some photos and videos I looked at when I was searching, like, so cringe worthy. So this was like one of my first ever modeling photos. As you can see, yeah, as you can see, I joined my agency. I think I booked an appointment with them, went in, and then they said they will sign me, and then I signed a contract and whatever. And then they organized some test shoots for me, as agencies usually do when you first sign with them. They will organize shoots to build your portfolio, which is what you then show to clients and things at castings. So this is one of my first ever photos. I don't even know what expression I'm doing. I mean, that hair, which shows, because you can look like that. And I'm not dissing myself. Oh, poor Lauren, she was going through some stages, as we all do. Like, it just kind of shows that if you really put the effort in, work on yourself. Like, I really had to transform myself. And then these are some more. There's this one, oh, baby Lauren. And this is another one of my test shoots. I'm choosing the best ones as well. Like I cannot, look, I can't expose myself that much, right? No, but there were some really cringy ones. We had, I mean, my measurements weren't right as well. Like 92 centimeter hips is the max probably for like modeling. That's like the max you can be. I mean, things are changing now, which is great, but I was probably like 90. Honestly, I think back then I was like 96 hips, which is not even like, it's not even that big. So I really had to transform myself to become, you know, that typical model look. In Europe, like even 90 centimeter hips is like the max, like that's pushing it. So really had to put the work in. I got back into health and fitness, which I mean I always loved. I mean, it became a lifestyle. Modeling made me in a way keep on top of like my healthy eating and exercising and everything. And I always used to constantly watch like fashion TV, and I'd look in like magazines, try and study the poses and everything. My walk was always actually, I've always had a real natural walk, and even like today in fashion week and everything, I'm always commented on my walk. And I mean, I had a couple of lessons at this stage just to kind of like perfect it in a way. So I really worked on myself to get the model look. I grew my hair out as well. 2011, this was another test shoot I had, and you can kind of see that they're getting better. Like they kind of got better and better as I went on, as I worked on myself, worked on my look, as I kind of grew up in a way, because your face starts maturing a bit. It has, I mean I still have a baby face. And there was this competition called the Girlfriend Model Search, like the Girlfriend. We have a magazine here called the Girlfriend magazine in Australia, which is where they choose, you go to your local shopping centre or whatever, you know, you line up with all the girls, you see the judges, they choose, I think it was a few semi-finalists, and then if you're picked after that, they'll like give you a phone call. Then you're in like the finalists, which is a few girls, and you go to like Sydney or something. I wanted this so bad. How old was I at this point? 2011, yeah, so I was 17. I don't know who had the idea. It was between like me and my mum and my auntie, and she was good at Photoshop. So we created these like Vogue and Girlfriend magazine covers with me on the front using my test shoot modeling photos. And my auntie printed them out for me, and I gave them to the judges to kind of stand out. And it must have worked because I got chosen in the semi-finalists. Oh my god, cringe. Okay, when they called my name out, like it was probably, at the time, it was one of the happiest moments I felt, because I really wanted so bad to be, you know, like a top model. They called me up, it was like a week or two later. And that whole time I was like so excited. I was like, oh my god, I really want to be chosen. And they called me and said, sorry, unfortunately you haven't been chosen. I've heard that line a lot during the years up until this point today, let's just say that. I was like, back then I was so crushed, like the world had ended. I was crying, but I mean obviously now I know that everything happens for a reason and how it's meant to. So thank you, universe. Thank you. I also want to talk about, yeah, my goals from the very start of modeling. My goal has always been to be in the Victoria's Secret fashion show. There was something about it every time I watched it on TV, like, you know how that like something, that flame, that spark just kind of went off inside of me, and I was like so determined, so inspired, and I was like, I'm gonna get there. So that's kind of been my goal since I was like 15, I guess. But I've recently realized I'm so okay with not being a Victoria's Secret, and I'll explain that later. But yeah, my other goals were obviously, yeah, like top model, Vogue covers, all that materialistic shiz. Like I was really into acting as well. I really wanted to be like in a movie. I still love acting. Going back to the diet, yeah, to school, I ended up bringing like carrot sticks and celery sticks to school, and like just salads, and being so healthy. Like, this is high school, so you can imagine everyone's eating crap from like the canteen or whatever, and I'm just like eating the salad. I wasn't like, oh, I don't want to eat this. Like I actually liked eating really healthy because I loved the way it made me feel. But I'm really blessed that I didn't really go into an eating disorder mindset. I mean, back then I was called like fat from my agent and stuff like that, really insensitive things, even though looking at me as a normal person, you know, I'm like, I'm good. Like, I don't like using those words because there is no like normal, and but you know what I mean. But in the modeling world, I'm fat. 2012 was probably one of my skinniest times, but it was like, I didn't look sickly skinny. I was skinny, skinniest I've ever been, but kind of looked healthy and toned as well because I was really like into fitness. But there was some times when I was restricting my food a bit. If I'm sweating, like, don't worry about it because it's hot. There were times when I could feel myself getting a bit anxious if I was to eat something that was remotely a bit like unhealthy, it was not serious, but there were thoughts like that because I've already been really knowledgeable about nutrition and I've been kind of very aware. So I never really got spiraled down to anorexia or anything like this. It's so easy for girls to get an eating disorder when they start modeling, and if they're not aware of, or if they're not aware of like nutrition or what to eat or anything like that, it can be really hard. And I've known a lot of models who, I mean, you can tell they have problems with food. Basically, agencies can be really insensitive and they will just tell a model, okay, you got to lose weight, or they will literally plainly tell a model they're fat and that's it, go lose weight. Like, really? Like a 16-year-old girl, what do you think she's gonna do? She's gonna go and like probably not eat for a week or eat like an apple a day because she just needs to lose the weight. She doesn't have the knowledge of what foods to eat. You can really lose weight just eating really healthy, and that doesn't that's not what they think. I've heard stories of agencies just telling models, stop drinking and start smoking and then you'll lose the weight, or stop drinking alcohol and smoke weed. Like, for real? You're supposed to take care of your girls. I think every agency needs some kind of a nutritionist or someone who's gonna guide them in the right direction. Maybe give them like a nutrition plan. In general, agencies really need like a counselor or something for mental health. Because, man, you get rejected so often. I'm thankful for modeling because I really have developed that. And I do not take anything personally. I don't compare myself to anyone because we're all unique. We don't really shine our authentic self and light because we're too focused on trying to be like someone else. And also, so I'm going back to 2010 because this is when I read my first self-development book. So this is when I really kind of started getting into the law of attraction, spirituality, all of that. And it really, like, it opened up a part of my mind. I recommend you all start reading self-development books. And I'll actually link some below that I really recommend because it has really rewired my brain in the best way possible. Yeah, also, modeling in Adelaide is so quiet. Like, honestly, you probably work like twice a year in Adelaide. Like, it's not the one. But I'd have this thing in my mind, like, I needed to keep my options open for castings and jobs because sometimes you can get a job or casting really last minute. So I was like, no, like, I don't want to work anywhere. I just want to keep my options open. And, you know, no income was coming in. I'm so grateful for my mum because she always helped me out with paying for any test shoots, which is another thing. At the beginning, you may have to pay for some, not cheap. Sometimes with a good photographer, they can be a few hundred. So thank you, Mom. I'll get rich soon, I swear, and then I'll give you the money back. Like, models that have another job, agencies really expect us to be available 24/7. But most agencies sometimes pay you like a few months after you've done a job. But yet they want us to be available 24/7. It's like, you need to pay up, hun. The industry needs to treat it like any other job. This is going to be so long, I'm so sorry. Also, this whole time from like 2009 to, well, late 2009 to 2012, no, to 2013. This whole time I was like, I really wanted to get signed to an agency so bad. I mean, overseas. Like, I really wanted to go overseas because, you know, the big fashion capitals of the world, because that's where you make it, and la la la. You can imagine for like 3 years of doing hardly anything, I was just getting so frustrated and I was like, why is nothing happening? So yeah, 2012 I did, you know, like a couple of parades just in Adelaide, a parade runway show. And then September 2012 I got signed to an agency in Melbourne. Yay! So I went to Melbourne for a month. Was really homesick because obviously it's the first time I went away from home. I was just so homesick, like, even though it was just Melbourne. But I mean, still, I wasn't busy. As you can see, my test shoots are getting even better. And then it's Melbourne Spring Fashion Week. So I did Melbourne Spring Fashion Week. And then I went back home to January 2013, so I'm 19. Look how much I've changed from that first photo. Like, I did the work. So I took some digis, and digitals are like just, you know, the normal really natural looking photos your agency takes on a camera. So like front shot, side shot, some poses, whatever, and they send that to agencies you want to try and get signed to, or clients that want to see the natural you, stuff like that. That was, I think they were sending those digitals to an agency in New Zealand. I think they were quite interested, but then I didn't end up getting signed. So. And at this time, pretty sure they were sending my stuff to agencies like, you know, everywhere around the world. And it was like, no, 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 no. And then at the beginning of 2013, I got signed to an agency in Hong Kong. Yay, so I was like so excited. Pretty sure I left like a couple weeks later or something from finding out. Your agency overseas normally organize a place for you to stay or a model apartment. Sometimes they can even pay for your flight, but then you usually pay it back in what you earn when you're working with them. So with this agency, it's like a 3-month contract. So I got there, everything was so excited. I was like in the taxi going to my model apartment and looking at all the city lights. I love city lights, it's so majestic to me. It's like so inspiring. And then I got to my model apartment, and model apartments in Asia and Hong Kong are so tiny. Like it's like the size of my kitchen, a little bit bigger, and there's 3 bedrooms with bunk beds in them. So you're sharing with the 6 girls in this model apartment, 1 bathroom, a small tiny kitchen. It can literally fit 2 people max. And I was kind of like, okay, like it's fine. All about the experience. And the bunk beds are so uncomfortable. I've been to Hong Kong 3 times with the same agency since then. I really got crappy sleeps. I think there was like 1 time where maybe a model like took my food or something. But all in all, I've had good experiences in every model apartment. I've got along with the girls. There was maybe like a couple that were just like a bit standoffish or kept to themselves or whatever, but you know, your business. But also that's because you attract what you put out, and that was my vibe. And also at this stage, this was when like my diet became even more restricting, especially in Hong Kong, because like I was pretty much like, I turned pescatarian at this stage, because like if you've been to Hong Kong, you know, like you walk down the street and there's all this dead meat hanging up, and it's just like gross. Sorry about talking about meat, but like this is the stage when I wasn't vegan, okay? I've been vegan for like 2 years, so all good. And also when I'm by myself, I cook the most simplest, cleanest, healthiest meals. And we're gonna look at some photos. Yeah, so me in front of Victoria's Secret. This is when I arrived. As you can tell, that was the goal. This is my comp card. A comp card is what you give to clients as well, so they kind of remember you, and it has all your agency's details on there. As you can see, I was like pretty skinny, but like, I mean, I don't think that looked too skinny. This was the year when I walked for Calvin Klein, which was pretty cool. They came down from America, and whoever works with Calvin Klein in America, after the show, he actually came up to me and commented on my walk as well. It was like, you have a really good walk. I was like, thanks. You know, like if you want to put me in your campaign. And then I got this campaign, and I was on the shop window, which was really cool to see. Like I was like massive on this window, and like, whoa. Hong Kong I find is easier to get a campaign or commercial because there's much less competition. Also in Hong Kong, they pay really well. Like you can make a lot of money there. That's why I went back 3 times. Like it's an amazing place just to live for 3 months. It's a lot. But I know a lot of models that live there and love it. Also the party life there. There's a thing called promoters, where models get to go into the clubs for free through these promoters, and sometimes you can eat like dinners for free. You get free drinks in the club as much as you want. This isn't just Hong Kong, this is like any city really. Models would party like every night and sleep all day. Like that was the life. And I was like, how do you have work? Like do you have some castings to get to? Or even underage girls could get into the clubs, and I mean free alcohol. There's also like these rich men, I don't know how they know the promoters, but you can actually go to like dinners at 5-star restaurants, and these like rich men will just like pay for everything. I think they're just like a bit lonely, and they like, you know, hanging around models and spending their money on someone. I don't know, but like, you're like cool, like you go with your friends, and I mean, who's gonna say no, let's be honest. Also, there was a time when I was in the club and then the promoter was like, this rich dude wants you to just sit and chat with him at the table, just chill, and you'll get paid this much. Like, stuff like this goes on. They want to hang around someone beautiful and spend their money on them. Like, girls just need to be careful and smart and aware, that's all I'm saying. Also, sometimes you can like go on yachts as well. I'm not even keen on yachts, like boats in general. It didn't feel like my place. And it just, a lot of the time, it felt really lonely. That feeling of just being really lonely, I felt that a lot during modeling, and especially someone like me who doesn't, like, I'm the type of person who could feel lonely when I'm around a group of people or around friends who I don't like deeply connect with. So a lot of the time I just felt lonely, basically. Now, like recently, I have learned to kind of become my own best friend when I'm alone, because I have me, bitch. You know what I'm saying? As you can see, Hong Kong's Asian style is so funny. Like, it can be really out there. So end of 2000, I think I was in Hong Kong. It ended up being 4 or 5 months because I extended my visa. So I went back home to Adelaide, and then I took a trip with my parents to Sydney to meet some agencies over there, which ended up being, I know, sorry, oh, sorry, but she's just not the look we're looking for at this stage. We think she's too commercial. Oh, we think she's too editorial. Oh, we think she's not the look we're looking for at this stage. So anyway, and then when I was there, I had a test shoot. I really loved these photos. Like, they're getting better and better. It really brings out my European look. I did a couple of shoots for like the Advertiser or whatever in Adelaide. Again, I wasn't doing much at all. I ended up getting a job at a chemist that lasted 2 weeks. I cannot do anything that doesn't require me being creative in some way, or applies a sense of freedom, or if it's something that I'm not passionate about, I die inside. My soul was crying every day. Like, yeah, you can find the good out of your situation, of course, but I was not into backup plans either. It was 100% focused on my vision, because it's gonna happen. Patience has been a big theme in my life as well. I went back to Melbourne for a week, I think. I stayed in a hotel for a week because I did the Melbourne Spring Fashion Week again. Yeah, and then I went to London. I have a fun story. So I was meditating at this stage. I had this show in Adelaide, and we had the rehearsal the day before the actual show, and I saw my agent there because there was like a London agency she was talking to. I was asking about it, and this went on for so long, when like her talking to this agency, and she kind of said like she doesn't think it's gonna happen, and I was like so devastated. I was like, what do I do? Like, I'm literally not getting signed anywhere. And that night I went home and I meditated on it. I've always been a really naturally good meditator. I've had a few random experiences. I really released, like there was a moment where I just released and I surrendered to the universe. As soon as that happened, I was in a meditative state, and it was like, for some reason, I felt the feeling like I was in this. But now I realize it was St. Pancras Station. I had this feeling like I was in St. Pancras. Like, it just felt like I was there, and a feeling came over me of like, everything's gonna be fine. I'm gonna get signed in London. You have nothing to worry about. And I came out of that and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna trust, like, it's gonna happen. And then the next day I went back to do the show, and I saw my agent. Like, I was literally just talking to her the day before about everything was hopeless. She was just sitting there, and I walked in and she was like, Lauren. I was like, yeah. She was like, come here. I was like, okay. She's like, that agency in London actually came back and they want to sign you. And I was like, I just dropped to my knees. I was so happy. I was really happy. Wow. Yay. That was the first place I actually didn't feel that homesick. You know, it helps that it's an English country. Kind of felt a bit like home straight away. I got off the plane, went straight to my agency, dropped my suitcase off, and then I went straight to London Fashion Week casting. Straight off that 24-hour flight. Oh, I felt drunk. Here are some shoots I did. Well, my first magazine was actually my hands. My hands got on a cover before my face. Yeah, so I got signed to an agency in Milan. So I went to Milan for 3 months. The model apartment there was so nice. It was big, spacious, lots of light coming in, beautiful. Every model that was in that apartment, there was like a few of us, so we all made like really good friends with each other, which is like really rare, but like we just all got along with each other and it was so good. I didn't really work that well in Milan. The lines at castings are so long. Sometimes you're waiting an hour or more in the line. I couldn't believe how much graffiti is everywhere. And also I didn't like that sometimes if there's like a group of like Italian guys just like, and you walk past them on the street that, you know, give you a whistle or say something in Italian and you're like, annoying. I put on a bit of weight as well. So my hips were like 94 centimeters and I went there and they measured my hips and they were like, you need to get your hips down. So I joined a gym. Yeah, we just like started getting into the lifestyle again of healthy eating and exercise. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know why I stopped this. Like I felt so much better. So anyway, I got into a routine. Within 2 weeks, my hips went down to 91. It was either 91 centimeters or 90 and a half. But that was like a lot to lose in like 2 weeks. But I don't know, I just like, my body just like dropped off the weight. Like, again, there was some nights when I would just cry. I don't know, I just didn't like, I don't know, maybe it just wasn't my place. Yeah, I went back. No, my parents came because we went around Europe for 2 weeks. So that was really cool. Because I didn't go home for I think 2 years the first time I went away, which is a long time. So that was really cool. And then I went back to London. And then I went back to Hong Kong for either 4 or 5 months. So I had a boyfriend at the time who was from London. So he actually came with me, which was so nice because we kind of rented a place together. And it was still really tiny, but we rented a place together. So I was out of the model apartment. I did this commercial. Oh my God, I need to show you this commercial, guys. In 2014. I am in the mood for you tonight. So come on and dance with me on the show. Okay, this commercial, we shot it for 24 hours straight. Like instead of breaking it up over 2 days, they were like, let's just do it in one shot, shall we? I remember by the end of it, I was so exhausted. Pretty sure I cried. You know when you're like so exhausted that you just like cry because your mental health's not doing so great. Yeah, that's what happened. So after this I went back to London. And then everything was like just really slow as usual. This is 2015. Yeah, so here's just some more random photos. So I did Fashion Week. I did really well. I went home for Christmas. And then I stayed over summer. I went to Melbourne for modeling for 3 months. I just looked at an apartment on spareroom.com, I think, and I shared with a few people. There was no point in me staying in Melbourne for 3 months. It was so slow. This is my mother agency opened up an agency in Melbourne. Pretty sure I got like 2-3 jobs max when I was there. I had a couple of test shoots. I reached out to a couple of photographers as well. It's like, what do I need to do? I just want things to happen. And then I went home before going back to Hong Kong. This was my 3rd and final time. I was there for 3 months. My boyfriend at the time again met me and we stayed in an apartment together again, which was cool because I was so done with those model apartments. We had the smallest place, like it was like literally the smallest place can be so expensive. I don't know why this time around I had mosquito bites all over my legs for like 3 months straight. Oh, in our apartment as well we got bed bugs. So we moved apartments. This is the first time I got flown to do a shoot as well. So I got flown to Thailand for a campaign. We stayed in a hotel. I had a hotel room to myself. They gave us money to order room service. Just living the life in Thailand. We did the shoot up at this like penthouse and then I went back to Hong Kong. Mind you, my hips were probably like 93 centimeters maybe. Even though every body is different, so really like if you're measuring hips, your body can look completely different to someone who has the same measurement as you. It just depends on, you know, if you have a bit of a wider hip, if your bum's a little bit bigger, because yes, what? Yeah, so really like, it's just measurements are so stupid and bodies fluctuate all the time, especially women's bodies. but I was working, like I was booking. Same with Fashion Week. I've worked in London Fashion Week, having 93 centimeter hips or whatever, and I had still got a lot of shows. So I went back to London, I did Fashion Week. This is when I started getting into like my food photos, because I do have my blog, which I started the year after, 2017 I started my blog. Okay guys, I've been filming this in so many parts because my battery's been dying. Okay, so, and then during my time before Fashion Week and after, it was very slow as usual. Here are some random like shoots I had that I could find. And then I was also in a magazine, so that was really cool, like opening the magazine and in the shop and seeing myself. And then here are some kind of updated digis. And at this time I was asking my agency in London to, you know, help me try and get an agency overseas, and I was having no luck still. And I think around this time I kind of left my mother agency in Australia as well. So I want to talk about London Fashion Week. So normally the week before Fashion Week starts, you get a load of castings like every day for the whole week before. I normally got about, it was like 6 to 8, maybe 6 to 9, and you're literally like running around the entire day trying to get to all your castings. Some girls have got like 15 castings a day. Like, it's insane. Like, unless you can teleport, I don't think that's physically possible. But the night before, I'd make sure like I was prepared and kind of knew where I was going so I could smash it out the next day. Sometimes, even during the castings and definitely during Fashion Week, sometimes you don't always have time to eat. So I'd recommend, like, any models or aspiring models out there, make sure you have healthy snacks with you that are going to keep you going. Sometimes at the shows, they normally have food and snacks for you. Fashion Week was a bit harder when I went vegan, I guess, because they don't always have vegan options for you. So I had to make sure that I could find something or bring something, and I always brought snacks with me. Like, I love snack bars or carrot sticks, cucumber sticks, nuts, seeds, stuff like that. And honestly, I'm not exaggerating when I say you don't have time to eat, because you're like getting your hair and makeup done and then straight to like a fitting, and then you do the show, and then you have to go straight to a casting, and then you have to go straight to a fitting, and then you have to go straight. It's like, and honestly, people give shit to the models on the catwalk because they say they look skinny, they look depressed, they look tired. It's probably because they literally have no time to eat. Especially, oh my god, the ones who do all the cities for Fashion Week, like a whole month, I would die. Like, you die from 1 week. Like, you gotta give it to those models. And especially, you know, getting like hair and makeup are really rushing, so your hair is being pulled. You have to remind them sometimes there's a person under this head of hair. You know, you might get jabbed in the eye by a freaking like mascara one. I don't know, it's just, it's a lot. Like, during my whole fashion journey, I've met really nice people, actually. It's not what you see in the TV shows. They really play it up in TV shows. I've met a lot of, you know, nice models, nice people that I work with. Just sometimes girls can really be treated like an object. The designers care more about their clothes sometimes than the human being wearing them. They get a bit desensitized in a way and become a bit inhumane. I really love Fashion Week as well in that way. I don't know, I kind of like running around at the same time. And there's a thing called the model lounge at Fashion Week, so models get to go and like chill out during castings and shows. They give us massages and facials, and you can get nice food and products, and it's just like probably every model's favorite part of Fashion Week. And here are some like updated digitals again. And I remember posting this post on my Instagram with this photo, having a big spiel, because there was this agency in Paris that were interested in me, like really interested in me, and it was going back and forth for ages. I sent them in digitals, like I went into my agency, sent them digitals, a walking video, all of that, so they can see my walk. It was like back and forth, and they didn't know, and then they wanted like, they eventually said that, like, mind you, my hips at this time were like, they were fine. I think I was like 91, 92 hips. As you can see, like my legs and hips here, you'd think they'd be skinny enough for the catwalk. And yeah, the agency said that, you know, they loved me and loved my look and my walk and everything, but my legs just looked a bit too big. Look at my legs, bitch. I mean, I don't take anything personally. You know, my agency had my back. Luckily, they didn't say go and lose weight, which was amazing. I ate really healthy. I exercise like 6 days a week. really healthily. I love to mix up my workouts. I love how it makes me feel. There was nothing else I could do unless I made myself go hungry to lose any more. So I was kind of like, whatever. Starving myself is not gonna happen. My diet was already like on point. So you can go and get, you know, I mean, they're lost. Like during fashion weeks, even, you know, with the body I had, which was fine, I got between like 6 and 8 shows, which is a lot. Honestly, did I really want to do Paris Fashion Week? Now I think about it, like probably not. Like London is so much more chill. So here are some more photos from London Fashion Week. This is 2017, autumn winter 17. So that was a really good one. Walked for Christian Adnevic. After Fashion Week, I had a few shoots. And this was my first cover on a magazine. I think this magazine is based in Dubai. For editorials, like in magazines, most of the time you don't even get paid for them. You do sometimes, but it's not a very large amount. And yes, 2017 is also when I started my blog, Awesome Reviews. It's linked below. It's where I do vegan product reviews and recipes and things like that. At the times when I was just waiting for like ever for castings, or it really kept me occupied and it gave me something to work on and be creative. And then here are some photos from Fashion Week in September that year. And then I have more photos from autumn winter 18. I actually vlogged this fashion week, so I'll link it up here. And then here are some updated digis at that time. 2018, so here's a couple of photos. And in July of 2018, I actually changed agencies just for the fact that like work just started slowing down so much. And this was going on for a while. Like I was literally just not getting anything and it was like, what do I do? I found it hard to find an agency that just like really pushed me, because like honestly, I just really want a manager. That's what I want. I need a manager in my life. I'm so determined and passionate. I have the experience. I'm like gonna talk myself up now. I'm so ready to like fucking explode. And if I just had someone like working with me, and I wanted to join this new agency because they also do acting as well, and I really wanted to get back into acting. And they do sports as well, which I want to do that too. I've had castings for Adidas and things like that.
That looks great.
Just before this, I think it was somewhere in 2018, I think, I took a trip to America to meet with agencies. It was only a few days in each city. I went to Miami, New York and LA. My agency at the time organized some meetings. It's kind of hard to get signed there, I guess, because of the visa. So I didn't end up getting signed to anyone. Don't know why. It's just a reoccurring thing in my life. I just don't understand. So when I changed agencies, they still organized some test shoots. Also some test shoots as well with photographers who wanted to shoot with me, but I can choose whether I want to shoot with them or not. So I'll look at their work and see if I want to shoot with them. You know, if it's not paid, I want to make sure it's something that I can actually use, like for my portfolio. Am I getting more work with this agency? I actually am. I'm working better. I'm not like busy. I'm at the end of 2019 now, and here are some shots from 2019. and I was in the makeup TV show series Glow Up, getting my makeup done. So that was cool. It's actually on Netflix now, so if you want to check that out, I'm in episode 4, the first series. I wanted to explain, I think I realize now my spiritual journey has gone to the next level recently. I feel like the universe has kind of forced me to be alone a lot of the time and just waiting and not busy. The fact that when you are alone, you are more likely to wake up. You're more likely to take notice of your thoughts. You're more likely to question things. Being alone is how you take notice of your thoughts, you take notice of how you're feeling. Because a lot of people just, they don't even know what they're feeling or thinking because they're so busy all of the time and distracting themselves with things all of the time that they can't handle their own being with their own thoughts and feelings. It's the first kind of stage to transforming yourself. I understand that I kind of had to go through that. Throughout my journey has taught me patience, resilience, strength, experience, everything that I need to, when I finally kind of reach my goal or, you know, something like that, it will be able to last. I'll be ready for it. Whereas if I was like 16 years old, if I went straight to like New York and then shit was happening, and I probably wouldn't last, and I wouldn't be the person I am today, and learn what I needed to and gain the strength and wisdom. I believe we have a passion for a reason. It's to lead us to where we're actually supposed to go. Since I was little, I've been really artistic. I was acting, singing, dancing, anything in the arts I wanted to do, performing, being creative. So following your passion leads you on your right path. You might have a goal in mind, but throughout your path, it can change. We might think we need to go somewhere, but we needed to have that passion to go in the right direction, to learn what we needed to learn, to meet the people we needed to meet, for us to actually discover what our purpose in this life is. And I've become more in touch with my intuition, and I'm following my bliss, following my path, following my passions and my intuition more each day, and more is opening up for me because of that. And regarding Victoria's Secret, I don't think it's what my soul wants, to be honest. Like, it's not on the same wavelength, and maybe I'll be able to see why more in the future, why I didn't get it. Honestly, I could still get it through my life's not over, but like, I'm not like crushed because I didn't get the goal that I wanted from when I was like 15, 16. I want to achieve my goals, yeah, but I also want to inspire others at the same time. I want to do something that's helping other people and connecting with other people. So however that needs to happen, that's going to happen in the right way it's supposed to. So if you want to follow along on my journey, I've been meditating a lot and things, and I get a lot of insights. So sometimes I post captions and things on my Instagram. If you want to just generally follow along my journey and see where I'm headed, then subscribe, follow me on Instagram, comment below or send me a message how you like this video, if anything spoke out to you. If you have any questions, seriously, just like DM me or send me a comment, and I'd love to connect with you and respond and help you out in any way. That's the end of this video. I really hope it's not too long, and I hope that I've covered everything. If you've made it this far, thank you for listening. I really appreciate you. And also please comment me like video ideas, or like ask me some questions and maybe I could do like a Q&A. I love you all. I'm out. Bye.